In the late 1700s, France was a nation on the brink, straining under economic hardship and social inequality. The kingdom was riddled with discontent, with the populace chafing under the weight of tax burdens, food shortages, and an increasing divide between the wealthy and the poor. Enlightenment ideas were percolating through the society, stirring up thoughts of liberty, equality, and fraternity. These concepts, coupled with the growing dissatisfaction with King Louis XVI's reign, began to ignite a spark of rebellion. Meanwhile, the Estates General, a legislative body representing different segments of French society, was in turmoil. The commoners, or the Third Estate, felt underrepresented and aggrieved. This led to the formation of the National Assembly, a revolutionary entity that vowed to draft a constitution to limit the king's power. As tensions rose, the stage was set for a dramatic confrontation that would change the course of history. On July 14, 1789, a crowd of enraged Parisians stormed the Bastille, a state prison seen as a symbol of royal tyranny. The day began with an air of defiance. Thousands of Parisians, fueled by anger and desperation, gathered around the Bastille. Their demands were clear and non-negotiable: the release of the prisoners and the surrender of the fortress. The Bastille, with its imposing stone walls and dark, grim cells, was not just a prison. It was a haunting embodiment of the monarch's absolute power and the injustices suffered by the common people. As the crowd's demands echoed through the streets, the prison's defenders braced themselves. The tension was palpable, the air thick with anticipation and fear. The standoff between the crowd and the prison's defenders was a powder keg waiting to explode, and explode it did. The first clash was a harsh wake-up call to the reality of the situation. The crowd, driven by a collective fury and a thirst for liberty, clashed violently with the prison's defenders. The conflict was brutal and chaotic, a raw display of the people's pent-up frustration against the oppressive regime. Amidst the chaos, the crowd's resolve only hardened. As the day wore on, the crowd's persistence began to pay off. The Bastille's defenses gradually weakened, and the crowd seized the opportunity. They stormed the fortress, overpowering the remaining defenders. The Bastille, once an untouchable symbol of royal authority, was now in the hands of the people. The climax of the day's events was the release of the prisoners. The crowd, victorious and exuberant, freed the prisoners from their cells. This act was not just about liberating a handful of prisoners. It was a symbolic gesture, a declaration to the monarchy that the people would no longer tolerate their tyranny. The Bastille had fallen, and with it the old order. The French Revolution had begun. The storming of the Bastille was more than just a single event. It was a powerful symbol of the French Revolution. In the immediate aftermath, King Louis XVI, stunned and fearful, was forced to acknowledge the power of the people. This event heralded the abolition of feudalism, a system that had oppressed the French populace for centuries. The Bastille, once a symbol of the monarchy's absolute power, was reduced to rubble, mirroring the fall of the old regime. The storming of the Bastille became an emblem of popular rebellion against tyranny. It ignited the spark of revolutionary ideals that swept across France and beyond. Liberty, equality, and fraternity, once mere concepts, became the rallying cry of a nation yearning for change. This event was a catalyst, igniting a revolution that would forever alter the course of history. It challenged the established order and paved the way for the rise of democracy. In the end, the storming of the Bastille was not just a moment in history, but a turning point that shaped the modern world.